Good evening, folks. It's 23rd day of August 2022. Hey, I'm looking here at a great big cluster of chem bombs here being deployed. I believe that's south of Perth. Let's put a few cities on for a minute here. Yeah, right there south of Perth. You guys know where you are now? So I'm going to turn them off. Take some of the distraction away. Yeah, I was looking at this bombing here of the peaceful population of Perth, and who has definitely been impacted by weather. Well, that doesn't look very good. That image from there. Like I said, I gotta hook a monitor up. Yes, I have it. No, I haven't hooked it up. I ain't got the space on my desk. Well, it looks like a firework went off. Done. Just to look at this picture, what does it remind you of? Is anything you've ever seen in what we call real life? Since people say this is a conspiracy, you see a geometric pattern here with dots. Boom, 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 went a plume over here, right from an epicenter. Did I wake you up? Well, wake up, people. Look what's going on around you. Look what's going on over here south of Perth. And wait till you see the plan. I see something rather diabolical, actually. I'm over here watching I was just sitting back, looking at the water and the world and loving my water and saying, hey, what just happened here? And I'm watching this flow, right? There's a new move coming here. Watch the move. It's not new. I've seen it before. Right, a beam comes down here, right? So the momentum of all this suddenly shifts. It makes a big dam, actually, where just going to have difficulty for this moisture to complete what it was doing. And now it will be redirected. It's coming this way. They're making a tendril. And this is the first day of the tendril being born. I'm watching it. So all this moisture that's up here can stream this way. And I'm very, very concerned. Oh, did you see the blast there? For an event all the way through here. And I mean wide. And I went and I looked at the weather plan. Look at the beam here. That's the secondary. God, you're going to get it. Right. I can do a determine pretty much from this. Because you got to look down here. There's a nudge. Right? Here's a nudge. When these two collide, they nudge. This nudge, that one, bam. This one's going to hit this one. When it does, it folds. Got a beam up here, redirect the moisture down to cop it here. Right? There's the pulse. Somebody said they seen a feather. Well, that's actually they'll blow out the imagery chip. There was so much energy goes up, and it interferes with the chip that takes these images of how much moisture that if it rained down would come down. So this is what the colors mean. And I could change and look drastic and all this, but why? Well, on this app you can't, but I could do it on another. Look at the pulse off here off the tip of Antarctica here and off crust from South America. And that's always important because that's an ocean that's going to move stuff towards you. We always keep an eye on the whole everything. It's a big picture, man. We got to watch everything. We got to watch these pulses. And this one spells bad news for Australia. And this is an ungodly amount of water that to be turned towards you. It's a beautiful water. But the amount to be turned towards you is an ungodly amount. Because this is geoengineering cut and dry. And this is going to be very bad for this swath about through here. The chem's just starting to set it up now. And it's going to take a setup. As they bring these streamers of crap in. Well, this is Perth again, where I was showing earlier. You've got a lot of energy here. That energy will tend to make things go north of this because it can't go this side. The high pressure will actually flow toward this cooler stuff, like towards Three Springs and Geraldton. Boy, that was a big pop over Geraldton. Look at the booms you guys got. Boom, boom, boom went the plume over there the way went your sunny day over these beautiful crops settling down. How's those organics tasting? Little crunchy metallics. Tastes like old fillings. Well, they took the fillings out your mouth, gave you bad shillings, and then put it in the air. Look at this crap here. In your air, in your sky. I know it's a bit blurry, so I'll go back a bit. That's not cool, is it? That is not a naturally occurring cloud formation. This is a special purpose zone. What's the purpose? To see how much stuff it takes to kill something? How much could fall out? I'd love to see a sample of the coral and a definitive line of where the toxicity is in the coral, because there'll be lines in it as well of sediments and growth. And it could be a very definitive timeline of toxicity that could be very visibly shown if somebody wanted to. And I'd be very hoping somebody would want to share those results with me, so I could share what they're about. That's a mighty straight line of streamering bunches of crap. It is. It's a bunch of crap in the air. And a bunch of crap coming off the nose, not giving you a forecast that's an oh my god. I can hint to you. You want a hint? And I was just actually looking at today what's coming for the next 10 days, and I didn't like this at all. I don't like this at all. Again, those lakes getting full. But some of it's quite bad, the SWAS they're predicting. Look at this. They're talking your entire nation. I have never in my life seen 3,000 plus miles of flood. This is going to be bad. This will carve channels in the ground and run off to the sea in such a way you've never seen. You might be able to take a canoe trip from here to here. This is bad. This prediction of a weather plan here needs to be thwarted. Say, hey, stop it. Whoever's planning this, stop. If this is a forecast from 10 days from now, and it's being seen by me, and they're saying that it comes after that 5-day period, which means this beam is starting to set it up now. I'm calling it right. That's what made me go look. I wasn't going to give a forecast today. I'm feeling rather down. What they just did to Nelson, and what is still an accurate forecast for some other major population centers like Sydney and some other towns that have been devastated by geoengineering this year are about to have it again. And I find it very lowering. And I cut my hand. Say, I didn't feel like doing it. I'll live. Suck it up, buttercups. Isn't that mighty geometric there? Like a stop sign with a piece of it missing. Uh-huh. This is geoengineering right over the top of a peaceful population. I'm sure some people got some pictures from below, but maybe all it looked like was milky white skies. Who knows? I haven't actually had a chance to see those pictures, and I would like you to share some in the comments on this video. I find it educational for all. I can show you, it goes on all over the world. Even this doo-doo cluster over here is a bunch of crap. It's not giving me a clear image. Remember when we used to have dial-up and it would give it that? Loading, loading. It would even say those words. Well, they can go get loaded somewhere else. So I'm going to set this into motion now and let you see. Chem combination turning Australia into Chemstralia and absolutely streamering, y'all. And this is the line they're talking about, right through here. And there's a divergence zone or a convergence zone. It diverts here and converges here. And pinch points squeeze the pastry bag. You got to learn that move. When they get all that moisture in a line from here to here that's coming up from the tropics, they wring it out just with an EMF squeeze move like they did on New Zealand this week. And it is not a new move, but they're getting very good at it. They, the geoengineers, they, the ones who make the weather plans. And I don't think the corporation like Acquiesce in Weather Services Australia would be doing this particular event. Yeah, they could make a snow for your mountain, and it is sunny day for the wedding. But this takes major cooperation. Bit of a morning glory out coming to meet the sunrise. That wake there actually can naturally occur, I have to say. It can. However, if I go zoom in on it, maybe we will see different. Actually, yeah, with this putting a lot of energy out and doing a push move, that very well can naturally occur like a morning glory. So yeah, now I told someone I'd have a look for it. But is it a gravity wave? Number one, NASA said there was gravity waves, and then NASA disproved its own theory of gravity waves, and then again says there is. It's an unproven theory. It is not proven. So I would tend to think a gravity wave from the rising sun would go in the direction you see now, because it always makes a haze in front of itself. I've been showing you guys for years. Badoop boop. I'm having a look at how are they doing this center here. Let's have a pause here. Pause. Well, puppy dog. Sometimes they bite. Okay, let's get something going on. Okay, we're looking here. This is going to nudge. See the flat? That's a nudger. Who's it bumping into? Whoa. You got a whole lot of deployments keeping this going. See, look in the center here. It is square, that square, that square. But if you look real close, you see doop, boop, right where I'm pointing. So load this yourself and look. You'll see the chem bomb. And again, boom, boom, boom. And I'm sure I'm going to miss some because you got a big quadrant of them going off here, which is very obvious one, and that's very bright. So that's must be higher in the atmosphere, catching different sunlight, right? So booming up a cloud here. Look at these storms booming, and they are boomed. You can see the dots in them. Watch this one here get blown up. I'm going to go backwards. So it starts from nothing, right over here at 061 British Standard Time, right? There's nothing there, right? Here we go. So we're over here, right? Right in this one little dot right there. So let's see if I can do this without touching my mouse. Boom! You see him? See the dots? 1, 2, 3. Move this. Then they've definitely nucleated or catalyzed into whatever they were supposed to do, which is brew up a storm. And they start to circulate. Now, what direction are they circulating in? That'll tell me, is it a high or a low pressure? And yes, simultaneous dueling storms. Chem bomb, chem bomb, 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 chem bomb, 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 boom, 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 boom. I mean, really, isn't this horrendous? How quickly they could blow up a storm in 4-hour feed from nothing to something with the boom, boom, plumes. Everybody boom the plumes sometimes. You got to see the lies that are going on in your skies above your eyes. It ain't a lie. That's a real cloud, and how they made it was by man-made method. From something, you can get something. And from chemistry, you can get very predictable results. Add some physics and some engineering, and you've got a weather plan storm, and boy, are you guys going to cop it in Sydney. And they're keeping it set up. They're setting you up, folks. They're setting you up. You built your ark yet? Are you aware of what's going on? Are you ready? Do you know your local area? Tide tables and things like that? Right? That's your ark. I think some people might be needing some flotations. Look at the booming line right here. Something came along and said, hello. I think I'll toxify the skies. Hey, let me pollute something. Hey, it doesn't matter if it falls out as somebody breathes it. I was getting paid to do this. I was told to do this. I won't disclose nothing until I'm about to hang like Haman. Some people do need to hang like Haman. Really. Isn't that horrendous? Even that, it's hard for me to take my eyes off of. Look at the bombing going on here. It's an obvious deployment of chem bombs. Chem bombs. Really, doesn't that look like, hey, there's your cue. That happening on your skies. They never ended this program. Almost looks like the queen on a coin there at the end. A lizard tongue coming out, snapping flies. Snapping flies. Time we all freaking goddamn do something about this. I'm starting to get angry. I don't dare go a little further north. I got to do a determinant. That ain't no gravity wave there. That's a chem bomb line. Look at all these streamers emanating from a point. Like something shot it out there like sounding rockets. And judging by the color, that's on a lower deck. Look at all these crisscross signs and stuff. Do Hydra, trust the fucking science. This is the science you're supposed to trust, though. Yeah, this is safe. I'll never harm you. They don't know what the hell they're doing. Half the time, anyhow. They can't even bring a budget in that they say they're going to do. And you think they're going to tell you they can control the weather without hurting something? Huh. Talk about being able to get away with murder. It was just a storm. It was an act of God. They ain't even got to pay you the insurance no more. It don't look like no act of God to me. It looked like some people acting like they're our God. Look at this clusterfuck over here off your coast. That's disgusting. That's a toxifier. Isn't that horrendous? Goodness gracious. Booming in the plumes, frying y'all like... Really, you're getting sprayed like bugs? You're getting zapped in the bug fryer? I mean, look at this shit. All-purpose zone. Bunch of all-purpose peckerheads doing that kind of shit. Frying you like bugs. Bzzz. Getting fried, Straya style. And Geraldton's almost always exceedingly guilty. When I look at the radar, I constantly seeing fryings going on as they direct the flow from the Indian Ocean up over Australia. As right now, you can see Port Hedland is, yeah, it's beaming. It's a minor beam in here. This is walking around the corner. What we got here? Bzzz. Boy, you guys got some obvious beaming going on. Look at this cluster here. Let's see if Newcastle's even showing anything. A flash. The flasher. The flashing's against the light. It doesn't look like a very accurate radar feed. It's not quite matching up with this. You know, when I see it all that, pow! That's EMF beam. Marburg's blasting in's got a circle beam directing everything to the north. What we got here? Mackay's energized. The square over here will kind of tend to bring things in like this. In like this. Alright, let's do a determine. Alright, shall we do a forecast? Great. Well, forecast ain't weather plans. Forecast or forecast. So, let's do a basic look. Isn't this complicated? Right, all essentially you got going on the planet, actually. Turkey had 3 triple dancers going on north of the equator, which is important, actually. When I looked up here, this is going to kick a lot of stuff down in towards over Arabia, which is going to get picked up by this and brought into here. And got a lot of sand whipped up to that and a pocket of cold, because I seen it over there. That's extremely low. It is a very, very, very strong storm. Oh, it looked lower. I thought it was a 3. Nah, it's not as low as I think. It's in the 80s. I thought it was a 3. I was going, oh my God. You ought to see what they was calling high pressure over Turkey. This was a slam busting cooking the statistics. Right, low pressure is anything below 1014. Right, that's 1012. They're calling it high. That's 1013. It's right on the line. That's a neutral. That shouldn't even be that shouldn't even be registered. This is 1021. That's high. Right, you see what I mean? You see the lie? Them motherfuckers must be high if they think I'm not going to pick it up. That's 1011 listed as a high. You know, this is the cooking the statistics. So if you're just looking at the colors here, you're not going to pick up on what's really going on. You got to look at the numbers game. That's my point. Right, it looks like you got some heavy winds. These isobars used to be further apart. Actually, they're doing them in 2s. They used to do them in 5s. That's very high pressure. Used to be when you had high pressure, you didn't have a bunch of bad weather. So high pressure in this hemisphere turns this direction. Your 14s are down here. Oh, that's a bubble to the side of cold air sucking in this. So that's going to continue to bring this along into New Zealand and open the avenue up for it to bring things up to the north. This is trapped. It ain't going nowhere until it dissipates. These pressures got to equalize, and its bubble up is up here, pulling tropics down, right? So we got to know that, and it's rotating this direction. Okay, so it's up and over in cold air into this, which is going to continue storms out at sea. The pocket over the top of Papa is going to be very important for what comes down on this coast, right? So it's turning because it's high, and it actually is high. It's above sea level temperature, pressure, right? It's above the 14. She's going like that, but she's not doing it very much, and she's got a dancer next to her. So they tend to flow this way and pull that way, right? And the real pull for this has got a second bubble up going on over here, and this is going to be a cut. This is a roaring storm. Yeah, this is what finished with you guys. But because this is still here doing this, pumping this down, it's still fucking New Zealand hard. Yeah, you ain't done with rain. But what's coming down next as this moves over, because as it starts to feed towards this, because the high will tend to go towards the low. It always has to, actually. That's just how pressure flows. Did you look up Boyle's and Charles's laws about gases and flows and things like that yet? Especially Mr. Boyle. Right? Hey, look, it's winter. We got some snowflakes. So don't melt when I tell you some of the stuff I'm going to tell you. Okay? Now, what we got going on that's very, very important for you to know is this is not an organized high. This is stretched as a filament. Filaments can be pushed down as one, like a wiper. They've already done an EMF move that put a pulse here, right through the center, right here. And they have another one here that backs this river up this way. Pow! So shockwave goes out and pushes the moisture that way. Shockwave comes also in this direction from that one, and in both directions from this one. So backs that up, separates the filament, allows this to be tendrilled down as a wiper. And because it's all these winds and it's catching, as this slides, this low is going to come up and catch it. And the catching of the low is going to turn it this way. This is what I'm watching. And this is a 958. It's going to be a dominant bubble when it comes through. Even this one's tending to pull a little towards the side toward it. See, that's why you got the leaning. Look how low it is down here. Those are very low pressures. Okay, we got to watch the pressures. You don't understand how pressure flow works, you'll never give an accurate forecast for yourself. And you got to know when they're lying. How low is low? How high is high? Right? Right. Okay, so find your 14s again. Right? All of it's going to go through here. As this moves and this pocket comes through, let's see what the plan is. Let's go about 3-day jump. Right, she's still stalled over New Zealand. So that means New Zealand is kicking this way. You're still kicking up and over, and you're pulling this cold air in. Get your blankets out. Or have a cuddle. Some of y'all got cats. Just joking around. That's a 10-10. We don't have no 10-4 good buddies out there. That would be a high pressure. That would be a bzzzt. But you know, it's high over here over Tassie. You got a big fryer down there. You got a fryer there, got a fryer there. You got one here, big ones. You've got one here, right? Here for sure. Got a big base there. And of course, the ever guilty Xmas. And when things get over Xmas, things are going to get interesting, I imagine. So we're looking at about, I think we're looking at about here when this one finally comes in. Oh, yeah. Blah, fucking ha, there you are. You had to work like that. Look at where the bubble up is. Wow. Yeah, I don't know about the central getting it as bad as they say. That's a good thing, actually. Now, I could bring that over anytime. It's there. The moisture's actually there. It's just scattered. It's not showing. I'm going way ahead now. I got to see something. And don't let them really watching his pressure. So let's turn on some of the distractions. What, I got a double high. Did you see that briefly? All right, the heat it is, it came over New Zealand. You see it? See what they did? All right, so they're going to do a beam on Sunday, my time. Dun dun dun. What was that? Is that Australia time? I'm very curious now. Suddenly that has appeared. Zzz. That's zzz time. Yeah, you're gonna get pulse that day, so that's gonna do something. Yeah, you can even do EMF forecast if you pay attention. See, that's an impossible. Inside the center of a storm that's only one tick aside from the 8. Come on. I ain't buying it. So we can expect a beaming event on Sunday to create the heat for that. Just as it goes over to Super Darn Station. I'm not an idiot. Or Blenheim can do that too. Very easily. Just to see what they got there. Anybody ever paid attention to what's in your own country? In your own backyard frying you? This is not good. This is not good at all. Right, I'm going to have a drink of water here while you guys just look at the distractions. Here, I'm going to turn some of that off and let you see your basic forecast, and I'll stop when I see something interesting because I need a drink. I hope everybody's okay tonight and that people have homes to return to in Nelson. Remember, help who you can, but know that it could be dangerous to do so. Yeah, it looks like your second clobbering to your full streams comes on Thursday, my time, which will be in the afternoon, about supper time. The evening meal for the North Island of New Zealand on Thursday is going to be interrupted. Cook early so that your food's cooked in case your power goes out. I think that's going to be essential. That's a very heavy line coming through. Right, Auckland. The low areas of the city could see a flood right around here. It's just a flasher, but flash floods are damaging. Right, I'm very concerned for this actually. Looking about a day away. Yeah, there's some heavies coming through. Watch this. What's your accums going on here? Accumulations. They say ain't too bad. That's a heavy storm coming through though. I'm not buying this. That ain't making no sense, actually. If it doesn't make sense, it's nonsense. Would you agree? Let's go back in here and let's see what the other one says. I'm not agreeing with this, actually. The pressures are saying different. A lot of lightning out at sea. Boy, if they can harness all those bolts, we can get rid of a whole lot of power stations, huh? And have it going on out there? No, that would be bad for fish. See how we should think? Somebody should always say no. That would be, if it's bad for something else, we just don't do it. And she's coming in there, she's like a knuckleball, running around, whamming on New Plymouth, and there we go for Whangaree. Boom! Onto Auckland, Piha Beach getting scrambled. Holy shit, you're gonna get smacked. And as it comes over and the lift of the thing drops on the mainland, because there's a lift here because of the shape of the land, you guys are gonna cop it. And New Plymouth, you get another big round of whammos! And the lake gets more full, and then the winter continues down here through Christchurch and the islands and Wellington. And now I imagine it's going to be windy as fuck. We'll put on the particle animation. That'll make it more dramatic. Oh my, the wind is rolling. Of the Western Sea. Y'all have that? We had Mickey Mouse Club, and now I think of Mickey Mouse Club like Grimace. Yeah, even the grimace makes me grimace when I think of where the grimace came from. That heart attack of Macca's. What else we got here? Over the bird-shaped skeleton out here, this island. Very windy. Westport, getting smacked. Palmerston North, windy. Wellington, windy. Windy on the islands. Windy and tidal problems coming again for Nelson. Be careful. Be careful. At least they got some calm going on. You know, they could use weather modification to have calmed that storm down, but it otherwise different. Right, here it comes. I want to see what they're going to get. Oh, the suspense is killing me. Ah, fuck. Cold, too. Some of these people are homeless, and it's cold, and things are wet, man. This is not good. Oh, fuck. You see what they're getting smacked with? That's a cyclonic storm. What kind of winds we got going on here? This is your gusts. Ah, man, you got roaring storms coming through. This is not good. Not good at all. And it's in this direction. Everything was blowing this way before. And this way. Now it's turning directions. And that's when things fall down. That's when roofs come off. Because the nails have already been stretched out. So if you got a minute to go bang them back down, you better do it. At least over the lands are a bit more calm. What's your accumulations of winds over the next 10 days? It's been a hell of a wind load on this island. Yeah, most all of it's in the next 36 hours, really. Yeah, this is bad. And it's changed direction. So be careful out there, people. Watch out for flying debris. That could be very dangerous. A street sign or something flying through the air can take a head off. Lose a finger. You don't want to lose your middle finger, because what are you going to use to vote with? Right, as we go on to Taz, you got a windy, about very, very windy accumulations over there. We'll get the gusts. Not too bad. Straight's kind of quiet for now. Should really pick up about here. Right about there. Yeah, almost. Here we go. And she does the Southern Diver. I got lots of nicknames from Geo moves, and here comes her. She's coming ashore. When are they going to do you? They're going to do you. All the flows say so. Then this feeds that. This comes ashore. This starts turning cyclonically. Look. Yeah, man, you guys are going to get fucked. The setup is there. It absolutely is. I need to have a good look at this area next, because I have a concern. So, we'll start with your pressure. What you doing about here? Right about there. Excuse me a minute while I do some decision making. Oh, man. You're right on the line, too. This is pumping all that down. The wind's coming up this way. Causes a lot of lift. What's your temperature? Oh, not good. Not good at all. Is the wind going to change direction on me here? It should. And that's going to work that in. Sorry, I'm doing my determinants. I'm sorry if I do these type things. I ain't sorry at all. I'm not sorry. They're lying to you again. They ain't telling you these numbers. This is parked right offshore. Don't believe this. Look how far inland this rain's gonna go. Look at this shit here over the middle over Warburton. Oh my. But what could Access says and GFS? Get the fucking shit here. They can't pick this out with a broom for nothing. Well, the Wicked Witch is flying over Western Australia this week. We better keep a close eye on this. This is where the aware part of the arc comes in. They flood out like this. This amount of rain over a short period of time over this part of this nation, which is, judging by the colors here that I've seen in the past, because sometimes they bust my balls about tiles when I'm doing them, is about 7-8 centimeters, 80 mil, 70 mil, to some of these heavier areas. It's going to go somewhere. This is an incredibly vast area to be flooded. And it runs somewhere. It goes somewhere. And this filament here, if you're sure, is holding every bit of 1/3 of a meter of rain in it that could easily impact this coastline. And I do not think the truth is being told, because all the pressure flows clearly say that's the line she rides on. It's right there. And I don't trust this. So we will be very vigilant. This could be a type of flood that has never been seen on the face of the planet. I ain't never seen a geoengineering setup like this. So we are going to be vigilant. It's like they're sending an entire cyclone in during winter time from the Indian Ocean over. I've never seen a setup like this. I've been watching a long time. And up here, again, there it is. Here's that color. The color we don't like to see the most. That's where your color's changing from here into here. That's a big amount of rain. Right, this is bad. I sometimes run out of words. I know one word. Wrong. Geoengineering is wrong. If you could plan to flood out all these people in Tully and Ellerish and South Jonestown, and while the whole government is having parties and getting stoned, it's just so wrong. It just is. And it's a vast area, beautiful corals off coast here. This is it's something that shouldn't be tampered with. It just shouldn't. This is, I'll show you where it is today. Let's hope we can see it. You know, you see this here? This is the Great Barrier Reef, man. I love these. This is the reef. The rivers here on Cairns, they flow out here. So any of the farming that goes out here with any of the whatever they choose to put on the land when they grow, and all the pee on the side of the road and things you dump, and oil that leaked out your cars, and all the spillings and then the havens, when things flood, they go out to sea. And they impact this beautiful area. And these beams, they influence the growth here. And infrasonic vibrations from these big beams have an impact on the reef. And when I see this planned for here, and I know about the runoff from these rivers, from the farming, and the things I just mentioned, from your roadways, I get at a bit of a loss of words. Just a bit. Oh, even this up here. I see chem bombs on my reef. I'm trying not to scream and holler and carry on. It's very difficult. Anyways, people, we gotta get together and figure out a way to get this Paris Agreement to not be ratified fully. You dang sure don't want to know about the costs of it. Yes, you do. Trillions of tax dollars they want, on top of the trillions of dollars they just took off you for this COVID experience we've all just got. Meanwhile, they're beaming up a great big amount of storm. They're sending a whole bunch of water your way, Australia, a whole lot. And, well, I will not be silent about this. I'm going to keep watching for you. I'm going to let the forecast for today roll through for a couple key cities. Let's get a bit deflated. How many cities I've watched floods, how many predictions I've given, how many streets I've walked in that were so beautiful. And imagine you get to travel around the world, but you travel around the world to tell people they're being killed by geoengineering, and you get ostracized. But yet your accuracy of your predicted storms, you say, well, it's accurate. Either you are or you're not. You know I don't share my work. You guys do. You guys share because you think it's important. You are the heroes. Not me. I'm just doing a forecast. Remember that. Be humble. Or be humbled. It's kind of how it's going to go. There's some heavy rains beginning to dance around up here through Sydney, and calves come in here by Friday. I looked at it earlier. I'm moving along. And as we proceed through, that rain stays pretty steady. I'm not staying this after. This forecast is not accurate. Mine is. And this flows inland. There'll be great surfing conditions all along the coastlines through here, so go have some fun. But you really want to have some fun, here's your point. Very, very dangerous. Tides and stuff coming here off of Harvey Bay, Fraser Island. Be very careful out there, but have fun. That's going to be a dangerous time to be out there. Agnes Water. Hello. Hey, that's pretty cold for Queensland. It is, actually. That's a pocket of cold air that you got over here in your kiss cack. Yeah, keep playing with it. Tamworth. Harbor. Griffith. Yeah. Bendingo. Somebody bends a dingo. Put on the robe. Adelaide. I love your names there. Isn't it fun? That's just the winds. Hi, Captain. She's got the winds. Something fierce. Slushy, wintry mix with big old flakes going in the mountain. We damn sure got flakes in Canberra. They're under this triangle-shaped building year-round. Year-round. And the snowflakes are melting. You got a beggar. Why did that get that name? No. Was a guy standing there? They know there's going to be like... There's those Chem bomb predictions? Because they kind of look like them. Boom. Boom. They do. Their snowflake symbol looks like a Chem bomb. You want to look at a town and just hiss like a cat? Right. Wollongong. Clean the bong in Wollongong. Windy day, wintry mix. And all that's going to melt some stuff and fill the streams. Gosford Day. Kind of boring here, isn't it? Brooklyn. Hey, you got Brooklyn over there. Be curious what their accent is. They sound like Sandy. Wise Man's Ferry got some wind and some rain coming through in a couple days. It looks like your coast road's not going to be the best to be traveling on for high-sided vehicles. It's a lot of wind. So be careful along the Bruce. Use care. How did he know that? I've been on it. That's the biggest traffic jam you ever see in your life. The whole thing is a malfunction junction. It is. Don't believe me? It's if you got a traffic jam 3 times a day and nobody's out there even selling water and hot dogs. I feel there's been a missed opportunities. And Bunnings ain't out there, but maybe if they dropped an onion, there'd be wrecks, so they wasn't allowed. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. They can't put onion on our burger. Talking about an excuse to save money. Hey, you got a napkin for a reason, and people could slurp a fucking onion. Get over it. Maruchador. There'll be good surfing that day on Saturday. But it's going to be wet and rainy. Maybe a bit sharky. There's a whole lot of krill and stuff out there. I've been hearing the whales have been seen extremely high north. Yeah, so that's telling me their food's up there. Or maybe they know something. They're getting the fuck out. Maybe they finally said, fuck it, man. I've had it with these EMF blasts off Australia. Let's go somewhere else. That would be the saddest thing, wouldn't it? If the whales finally packed it in and left, you know you're in trouble. Well, they're up here right now. I'm hearing reports. Yeah, I love my whales. I follow my whales from here. And I'm wailing about things that are affecting the whales. The call is on. If I did that so loud in here right now, I'd shake the roof. Hey, this is what you're in for this week. This is what they got planned. And they got some really nasties planned for you guys. Really nasties. Look at the swath. Look at the swath. See this? That's not good. Look how white it is. So, are we going to be vigilant? 5 days, nothing. 10 days here. If you don't pay attention, it's still going to affect you from here to here, your entire nation, the entire Anzac from New Zealand all the way over out to sea here is about to be affected by the largest flooding event I've ever seen in my life. Godspeed. Big love. Peace. Fuck this bullshit they do this to us. Fucking sucks.